guys, Alien2 here with another unboxing video. I said in the previous one that I have several swords coming to me and I was going to be doing multiple unboxing videos. This is the second of the three that I expect to do. This one is one that I bought from Kult of Athena. So I imagine most of you watching this have bought something from Kult of Athena in the past. You know what their packaging is like, most likely. That's one of the reasons that unboxing videos are useful, is to see the packaging that's done on swords so you know what to expect. Well, like I said, I think most of you have probably ordered something from Kult of Athena, so you know what to see, but it never hurts to reinforce that. And there's probably some people who haven't, so it could be useful to them. And once I'm done unpackaging this sword, I will go ahead and give my very initial first impressions on that. But like I mentioned in the previous video, don't place a lot of importance on my first impressions, because they're not in-depth impressions. They're not thought out. So, you know, I've had multiple swords that my first impressions were completely different to what I thought of the sword after I put it through my review process. So first impressions are just that, they're initial, and they really shouldn't have much importance placed on them. So if you haven't seen Kult of Athena's packaging, this is what you're always greeted by: a whole bunch of packing paper. Kult of Athena is the king of packing paper. We have a belt here. Actually, let's take a look at it. A belt and is that a sword frog, or kind of? Very cheap feeling leather, as I expected from what this sword is. And here's the sword. It should be the only thing in here. This is something that Kult of Athena does better than anybody I've seen, is the way they wrap the paper around the sword is very, very tight and very well done. I've tried to replicate this and I can't do it. I don't know what their technique is, but it's really good. So here we go. This is one of Ronin Katana's newest European swords. It's their hand-and-a-half or bastard sword. I actually put a poll up on my community tab asking people which they would rather me review of the two new swords. And this one won, which is good because this is the one I was more interested in the first place. Now, one thing that's interesting, you can see it came in this plastic bag, but it was not all the way in. That to me implies that Kult of Athena did open this up and do at least a small amount of QC. I don't know for sure, but that's what it looks like at least. And I believe, yeah, these are set up, the belt here is set up for a left-handed draw, which is what Kult of Athena said on their website. It looks to me like it's just got some cord holding it on, so that would probably be very simple to fix and switch over to a right-handed draw if you are a righty. On the other hand, if you're a lefty, that's a good deal. You almost never find swords that are designed as a left-hand draw out of the box. So the scabbard, does feel like wood, does sound like wood. Let me see how the fit is real quick. That's actually one of the better fitting scabbards I've seen from Ronin Katana. And here we go. So interestingly about this sword, this blade, from the specs and the pictures on the website, on Kult of Athena's website, looks to be the exact same blade as on their new arming sword. It looks like they just changed the hilt between the two. So this is a pretty short sword, short blade for a sword that is intended to be used two-handed. Also probably could be used one-handed because of that, but That's a pretty attractive looking blade. Pretty stiff. It's got a hollow ground to it, although it's not deeply hollow ground. You can definitely see some hollow grinding on it. Got a layer of grease as expected. So one thing I was curious about was the grip wrap. The biggest problem I have with the vast majority of Ronin Katana's Euro swords is their grips. This one is a very simple shape, just tapers in a little bit. It's actually got a little bit of a flat on here, which is nice to see. But this is a cord wrap. This is not they're really squishy and awful feeling leather, which is an improvement in my mind. Now, admittedly, I would prefer a leather wrap and all that, but this cord wrap is definitely, at least first impressions wise, a lot better than that awful squishy leather. I'm just kind of feeling the edge. Feels pretty decently sharp. Does not feel toothy unlike the swords that I tested or I unpacked the other day. Let's see how it cuts paper. So it did struggle to start that cut, but then pretty smooth. Could have been cleaner, but that's not bad at all. That fail there was my fault completely. So yeah, there it was tearing a lot more than it was cutting. So it can cut the paper on that edge, but it does struggle a little bit. Now that edge was much better. That cut sliced through very easily. So of course I immediately failed that time. Feels like it might be a little bit inconsistent in there, but not bad at all. It definitely feels like a functional edge here. There's definitely some distal taper here. Don't have my calipers out, I'm not going to get them out, but it doesn't start particularly thick. It doesn't have a ton of distal taper, but it does have some in there. It's balanced. Let's see. Pretty close to the guard as you would expect for an arming sword blade on a 1.5-hand hilt. So this will be an interesting sword to review, I think. I have not particularly been a big fan of Ronin Katana's Euro swords. I'm hoping this one, maybe they will have taken some feedback, not necessarily from me, but just from people in general, and made some improvements. I don't know, but it will be interesting to find out. And that's pretty much it for this one. This is just one sword. It's pretty basic unboxing. Kult of Athena's box or packaging is always really solid, so there wasn't much to talk about there. Like I said, I do have one more sword coming soon, and expect an unboxing video for that as well. Until next time, Alien Toot out.